Hello and welcome back to our top 100 board games of all time. We're Dorks Gone Wild. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Tina.
And this is number 20 through 11. So these are games that we absolutely love. And I cheated on my list and added a game recently that we played. And I've actually played it a lot. I don't know how many times I played it, but probably almost 10 already. Is, bring it in, the best box art ever.
That's right. Best game art.
Best game art probably ever. Yes, the best. So Tina really wanted this game.
I did.
I was pretty lukewarm on it. We got it, and I love the mechanics of it.
I was so scared you weren't going to like it too because it looks so pretty. I was afraid it was going to be too Ameritrashy.
This is, and it's got some meanness to it, but it is such a good, clean, short, 45, 60 minutes, easy to teach, easy to grasp. A lot of depth to it, literally, since you are going under the water.
Ocean.
It is the ocean. Really love Abyss. It's my new game that I'm in love with right now. Maybe higher than it should be right now, because I tend to do that with new games, and ones I find I really put up pretty high. But this would also be in Tina's list. She didn't adjust her list. I did. I actually left something out again, so I don't know how I did that again. But I got Abyss in there, so I kind of cheated, and we were going to do a different list with games that we played recently, but I threw this one on here anyway. It'll probably show up again, some other list. Really love Abyss. Check this one out. It's got 5 different covers. Tina went and tracked down this cover.
I did. It was hard to find, too, because they were all the green ogre guy.
But beautiful, beautiful artwork. It's Bruno Cathala. Love Bruno. He does. We'll see some more Bruno here soon. Love Abyss. My number 20.
My number 20 is Loud. Not as loud as the other ones. Zerts. Oh, it's going to fall apart. Oh my gosh. It is the 3rd in the GIP series, and I really love the GIP series. It is my favorite series, probably.
Yes.
I don't know
for a series
how many,
of games, that's great.
Yeah. For them to have so many that are so good. There's only 2? One that I don't like that I know, and one that I'm scared to try because it's real time.
Well, that's not even part. So, she doesn't like Punked.
I don't like Punked.
And then Gips is we're a little lukewarm on Gips, the first one in the series.
Are we? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so.
Which one is that?
That's the make it 4 in a row. This one right here.
I like that one.
Okay.
It was on my list already, I think.
Okay.
Pretty sure. I think Punked is the only one that I don't... Punked I know I don't like, but there's another one that's real time, the one that Michelle has.
Yeah, we haven't played that one. I don't even know the name of it.
Yeah, I don't either. But it's real time, and I hate real time. I'm very bad at being timed. This is going to fall apart if I let go of it. Anyway, this is Zerts. It is my number 20. Sorry about that tangent there. It was made in 1999, and it's a 2-player abstract. We've had 5 plays on it. But these games, like, seriously, we'll sit down, we'll start it, and then we'll just be like, no, we have to play again. No, we have to play again. No, we have to play again. So those 5 times were probably in a row. And it plays in about half an hour. It's abstract, got the grid movement, of course, set collection, but it's really cool because you have like these marbles that you set on these little dome kind of things, and you set up the board, and as you move, certain movements will make part of the board just kind of like break off and float away or whatever, and it's kind of a cool mechanic.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cool thing. It's kind of checkers style where you're jumping over things, and then you can add marbles to the board, and the board keeps shrinking. It's really a very cool, different kind of game, and they're really good at that.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's my number 20, Zerts. Pardon the sound. Sorry.
My number 19 is Battle Line. My favorite 2-player only game. We did a top 10 lunchtime games at work, and this was my number 1 on there. So, love Battle Line. Very short, quick, 20-minute game. Kind of a pokerish feel to it. The box to me is still so misleading. It's not a war game. I mean, they put a theme on it. I think this scares away some people from playing it because they look at it and go, I don't want. It's GMT Game, which is a war game company. But this is a very light to learn, deep to master type game.
Yes.
Where you have 9 lines that you're fighting over and playing cards on it, trying to get straights, flushes, 3 of a kind, royal flushes, and whoever has the best 3 cards on a row wins. And it also has some tactical cards in the advanced version that change the game totally, which is a great idea. So if you get bored with the beginner game, you can go to the advanced game. But the beginner game is really good too. It's hard, and it's a hard game to master, but so much fun to play. I really love Battleline.
My number 19 is heavy, very heavy. Oh my god. In all meanings. This is Dominant Species. Yeah. I don't understand why I like this. It's a bland board. You just have cubes and cones as pieces. I don't know why. The first time I played it, though, I fell in love with it. And it's super long, too. It's like 150 to 240 minutes easy.
Yep.
And that's, I don't even know.
We played it last night,
times.
and it took...
I didn't, though.
Yeah.
Sad face.
It took 4 hours.
And that was 6 players, right?
That was 6 players and teaching somebody it. Another GMT game.
Yeah.
This one feels more war game than Battleline does.
Which is stupid, because I don't like war games, but I love this game. And it was made in 2010. I've only played it twice.
Twice, I think, yeah.
But I think you've played it 5 times, because I've got 4 plays logged on here. But there's a lot of strategy involved. You're basically trying to be the dominant species, obviously, but there are different species. Everyone gets a different species, and you have to kind of migrate, and you have to avoid the ice age, and
adapt.
Yeah, you have to adapt your species. There's area control and influence. There's card drafting. You're placing down tiles with different types of terrain on them, and there's a lot going on in this game on such a bland board. Like, the bland board drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's very abstractly looking.
Yeah, but it's so boring looking, and it's so much fun. Don't let the board scare you away, for serious. It's so fun. The theme, the quality of the components are really nice. They're just boring. And I don't know, if I could find some meeples for it, maybe that would help me like the look of it better. Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then we must get them. And I think this one's the longest one I like. This one or Through the Ages. I'm not sure which one's longer.
They're both probably about the same. Through the Ages might be longer.
Yeah. But I don't know, I tend to get bored with long games, but I really like this one a lot. And basically you're beating the Ice Age. Dominant Species.
My number 18 is Avalon. This is so if you played Werewolf, you played Avalon. If you played The Resistance, you played Avalon. The thing I like Avalon a little bit better, it's one of those social deduction games. Everybody gets a hidden role. You're trying to figure out who's good, who's bad. You go out on quests, and basically you're accusing everybody of being a liar and being the evil person. I like Avalon better because, one, everybody gets to play. There's no moderator like in Werewolf, so everybody's getting to play. And then, two, is there's some special powers that change the game dramatically.
It's true.
Where, everybody closes their eyes like in the normal game. Then Merlin gets to see who the bad guys are, and then so we have one of our friends. If you ever played Avalon, so everybody closes their eyes, and then somebody says, "Merlin, open your eyes," and the person who played Merlin said, "Okay." We had to stop the game and say, "Are you really Merlin?" And he was. So
I swear we've had to stop the game or restart the game more times than we've actually played it, because during the script someone always messes up or forgets who they are or something, which makes it even more entertaining.
But if you've played Werewolf, try this one. I think you'll like it even better. It's a little bit shorter of a game as well. It only goes up to 10, which Werewolf can play as many as you want it to play. About 30 minutes. We've played this one 33 times, I think.
That seems right.
So,
we like these kinds.
I think it's one of our top 3 most played games. Really love Avalon.
All right. My number 18 is 5 Tribes.
Bruno Cathala, back on the list.
Bruno Cathala. He's pretty good at what he does, I gotta say. This one it came out in 2014. So, right off the bat, my dislike, I gotta say it. Why don't you make the tiles double-sided? They are double-sided, but they're the same on both sides. Right. What is the point of that? It seems like a waste. Okay, rant over. That's my biggest one.
And not the complaint you're probably expecting.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Just say a different word. Seriously. Don't take life so seriously, people. Anyway, we played this like 11-ish times, probably more than that now. Plays in about an hour. Plays 2 to 4 people. I do have one more complaint. You can only play 2 different colors in the 2-player version.
Yeah, they did limit
Sad dinosaur.
Yeah, they limited the pieces in the 2-player game where they only made a certain number of pieces available. So yeah,
that makes me a sad dinosaur because I'm all about the color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but anyway, okay. Other rant over for the moment. It's worker placement, but it's really cool because you've got the board set up. It's all tiles. So that makes the game different each time because the tiles are always in different places. And you pick up however many meeples are on that tile, and however many are there. There's 3, you're going to move 1, 2, 3, and drop your meeple, the last meeple off. You drop each meeple off as you go, sorry. And then at the end, the one you land on has to be the same color as the one you drop there. And then you can do that power on that card. And you get djinns, which are like genies that help you do special powers. And there are camel meeples and tree meeples and palace meeples. The art is really cool on it. I like that movement.
The Mancala movement.
Yeah, it is Mancala kind of movement. It's really cool. There's auction and bidding in it and for turn order, which can be really funny because you got to kind of look and see what movements are out there so that you can kind of plan, and then somebody will just be like, oh, I'm paying 18, I'm going first. And they have no idea. They don't take your turn, or they might. It's a lot of fun. It's very cool. The art is cool. It's got different paths to victory, and I can't seem to find one.
Yeah.
But this game is a lot of fun. I just wish that they hadn't wasted the back side of the tiles and that they hadn't limited the colors of the 2 meeples, or the 2-player variant. But it's still a really fun game. 5 tribes.
My number 17 is Alien Frontiers. Love this game, but I will say off the bat, one of the worst 5-player games you can play.
True story.
We have the expansion, which goes up to 5 players.
Played it once.
Play it 5. I think we've done it twice now.
Have we?
I think you may not.
Well, I
the
may
first
have.
one.
Yeah.
But this is a game where you roll dice and you use those dice to build rocket ships and go explore. I think it's Mars, which you're exploring, and
yeah, I think so.
Doing a little area control at that point on the board, where whoever's the most colonies on the controls the planet gets some special abilities. This game's got some meanness to it. The traders. They come in and steal cards and steal resources.
They steal your planet.
Steal the planets, yeah. So, really like this one. Great 2 to 4 player. Never recommend this one 5. It doesn't even really support the 5 very well. It gets too clustered. There's no room to do anything. It really tightens the game up so much it's not that much fun. But great use of dice in this one, where no matter what you roll, you can do something with it. You can figure it out and get some use out of it. Really, really, really like Alien Frontiers. It reminds me a little bit of Kingsburg, but I really like Alien Frontiers.
My number 17 is Istanbul, which to me kind of feels a lot like 5 tribes. They're different. They're totally different, but it has the same kind of feel because you've got the board where it's all tiles. And again, not double-sided. What the heck are you thinking, people? But anyway, it's super fun. It was made in 2014. Plays 2 to 5 players. We've had 8 plays on it-ish. Plays in about 50 minutes. But it's a pick up and deliver where you have your tokens and you have a stack of 4 or 5? 5, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's 5. And when you move...
Assistants.
Yes, the assistants. So when you move, you have to be able to drop an assistant off where you land. If you can't, then you can't move to that spot. It's got some cool components. The components are really nice. And there's a dice, but it's just for like 2 of the...
Gambling type thing.
Yeah. Basically, though, you're trying to get the gems. How many do you have to get? Depending on how many.
I forget how many it is.
Yeah, I think it varies on how many players, but you have to get the most dice or the most gems. Sorry, and then you're collecting all these different goods to further your game to get you to those. You can either buy them with money or you can buy them with the goods, and if someone else is in the spot where you're going, you have to pay them to land there. So there's lots of different layers to the game that make it even more strategy oriented. And yeah, my biggest complaint is why would you waste all those backsides of tiles? But
and this has an expansion coming out here soon.
I
saw a little bit walkthrough on it. It looks interesting. It looks like it changes up enough where worth getting and add some life back into it.
Sweet, and that's my number 17, Istanbul.
So So my number 16 is a big old game. It might be too big to put up.
Hold it.
Is Concordia. Great pick up and deliver game. It's a rondelle game without a rondelle because it's got a hand of cards that you cycle through, and depending on those cards, you can do different actions. So it works, and Matt's one of the kings of rondelles, and he just did it differently in this one. He also did Navigador, which is another great game. Really like this one. Very deep game. Gets a little solitaire in the beginning, and then at the end, you're a lot of interaction where you're trying to go where other people have gone. The beginning of it kind of seems like everybody kind of branches out in their own direction, exploring the world and settling, and then everybody kind of meets up. It's got a very economic game, you know, trying to pick up goods, sell the goods for the best price, and buying these cards. The whole game is these cards. It scores a lot like Oasis. So at the end of the game, you get points based on a multiplier, based on the number of goods you get, or places you visited, or people you have. So it's one of those. I like games that do this. So all the scoring is at the end of the game. There's no in-game scoring.
No,
You
it's
can
all
kinda
in-game.
all in-game scoring. Yep. There's no in-game scoring, and you kind of like have no idea who's going to win, who's going to lose, and then you kind of just do the end, and boom, done. So love Concordia. Great game.
Great game. My number 16 is Beld. Castles of Burgundy. This game, oh my gosh, I love this game, and it sits on the shelf for a long time, and I forget how to play it almost, but as soon as I start playing, obviously I remember, and I've forgotten each time how much I love this game. It plays 2 to 4, but it is one of, if not the best, 2-player game that scales. Like, it's not just 2-player. Like, it is phenomenal, and it's Feld, so, you know. But it came out in 2011. We've played it 20 times now, I think, because Steve and I played it a couple times. Plays in about an hour and a half. The way you use the dice on this, I'm telling you, he's a master at using dice in Euro games. You roll your dice, and that dictates. I mean, you can use those dice to do whatever action. It's really cool how he does that. And then all the little chips, you're buying them, and you want to fill up your board, and you get prizes. You get points. Yay, prizes! You get points for being the first to fill up all of one color and all these different spots on your board. And there's was it 2 or 3 expansions?
There's like 4 now, I think.
We have how many of them, though?
I think we have them all now.
Do we have them all? So there's new expansions. So new boards came out, which is good. Keep it fresh. But they have extra things on them now, so you can build a line from parish to parish, which gets you points. And there's 3 different parishes, so you can do like a triangle kind of thing if you can. I haven't made it all the way around yet. And there's goats that will be any animal type on there, and then parks, which will be any building. And it's a complex game, but it's not difficult.
It's not difficult to teach, difficult to master, one of those games.
Yeah, and it's Feld, so you know there's a lot of stuff going on. You kind of have to pick and choose.
It's very victory point salad. It never punishes you in this game.
Yeah.
You never have an action that's wasted where you're like, oh, I can't do anything because of my dice. You can at least get workers or sell some goods. So it's very friendly to new gamers because they are always scoring points, and so it feels like they're really accomplishing something, even if they're getting about kicked by somebody who's more experienced.
It's true, but this is, and my biggest thing that I love about it is how well it plays 2 players.
Yep.
There's no dummy in it or anything that I hate that.
Yeah, the 2-player game's got more strategy in it because there's less tiles.
There are.
So you can't use the same strategy every time. In a 4-player game, you're like, well, I know every tile. In a 4-player game, every tile comes out, so there's nothing that you don't see. In the 2-player game, you only see half the tiles, so there's a lot of times where you can't say, I'm going to do this strategy, because you have to fly. Some of those tiles may never come up.
Yep, it's true. But this is a great, great game. It's my number 16.
My number 15 is Lords of Waterdeep. One of the worst boxes ever made, but one of the better games, yes.
It looks like it's...
It looks like an open book, and every time you look at it, you think the box is open, or just not closed all the way. But this is a great worker placement, and that's all this one is. It is a worker placement game that they threw a D&D theme on and did a great job. You don't have to know D&D to like this game, And if you do like D&D, doesn't mean you'll necessarily like this one because they are so different. And the biggest difference, there's no dice in this game. So that's a big difference between this and
D&D.
somebody who plays D&D all the time. Plays to 5, which is one of the things that we love. You're just going on quests, and you're completing quests, getting points. It's a very victory point salady type game where you're always constantly getting points. There's not a lot of punishing aspects to it. It's got some meanness to it, other than going to where the people are and blocking where they want to go. But some of the cards have some mean things that single out players, which I'm never a big fan of when you single out a player. But this game does have that. But I still love this game. Clean worker placement, very simple. Got some cool mechanics to it. A couple of little things it does differently. The intrigue cards and some of the delayed responses that you do. High scoring game, definitely. The expansions are great in this game. They add a lot to this game. They were needed for this game. Usually I'm not a big fan of expansions. Usually, there's hardly any expansions that blow me away where I'm like, wow, this game had to have this expansion. This one needed it. It was done. When we were pretty much done with this game. We played it over 20 times probably. I'm not sure how many exactly we played.
9.
9. Probably more higher than that now. But,
probably, but...
But
it felt like that because we had played it so many times, and it doesn't have the greatest replayability until you get those expansions.
Right. Well, Lords of Waterdeep.
Alrighty. My number 15 seems familiar, maybe. Alien Frontiers. I love this game. I love that your dice are your people. They're your ships. You roll them, you put them out. You can knock people off stuff. Planets, specifically. And it has purple. Yay! It makes me happy. Yeah, as Kyle said before, don't play this game 5-player. With the expansions, like the factions and the faction pack, they give you cool little, bubbles for your colonies. And, yeah, they make the pieces more interesting. They don't look like Skittles anymore. They actually look like little rocket ships and stuff. But the dice mechanic on here is really, really cool. The art is cool. It's very simple, the art, but it's great for what it is. It's area control and influence. It's got some King of the Hill on the actual planet. When you're colonizing the planet, somebody can come in right behind you and take the special ability from that colonization that you just took. Getting the clear die is awesome, though, because then you get an extra dice. The components are super nice. Even just the base game components are nice. They're just not as cool looking as the factions ones. And the factions give it a little bit...
Sure, they had some more places to go, and they make the setup a little bit different, so it feels different every time we play it. I recommend getting the expansion, but I don't recommend the 5 players.
Yeah, 5 players definitely was torturous when I played it. I've only done it once, and I don't think I would ever do it again. But yeah, I really, really like this game. Alien Frontiers.
Number 14 is Twa. This is a dice rolling game. This is also the game that most feels like felt. It's not a felt. So he didn't do this game, but it feels like he did. Great use of dice in this game. It's also the game that we play that when we play it every time we have no idea what we're doing.
But there's a long time in between when we play it too.
This is a very difficult game to learn.
It is.
It is. It does not come naturally. A lot of the mechanics in this. The theme in it is non-existent.
Totally. No idea what you're doing.
I don't know what we're doing in this game. We're rolling dice and having fun with it. But it has a cool little mechanic where everybody rolls these dice, and then you can steal people's dice. And then you're going out on the board trying to get more dice to get some resources, to turn resources into points, and points win the game. At the same time, there's a war going on, and we're all adding people to this war and trying to help out there. And if you do, you get bonus points. This thing got some meanness to it, for sure. Taking people's dice, blocking them in certain places. The game's mean at times, where the war cards, if you don't complete them, will take away dice, block up spaces, do other stuff. So this one, is not the typical. It's not a typical Euro. It's definitely a great, deep, complex game. It says 90 minutes. I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I think it's
90 minutes is pretty, especially with 4 players.
Especially since we have to reteach it every time.
Yeah, every time somebody, you're just like no idea what this game is. But I love Twa.
It's still fun to play. My 14, because Kyle's a copycat.
Actually, I went first, so you're the copycat.
No, I had it out first. Lords of Waterdeep. This is my 14. Yeah. This is our ongoing joke too. Every game it plays like Lords of Waterdeep. I don't even know how that joke got started, but that is our ongoing joke. It's really fun, but I want to get the meeples because there are meeples specific to each job or each.
Yeah, the clerics, the warriors, the thieves.
Yeah, which are really cool because otherwise they're just cubes. So it takes away from the theme, I think, that way. But it's a really nice looking game. It's kind of, I mean, it's not epic. It's just nice looking. The board, I mean, is kind of,
yeah.
But I like the different mechanics in it. It's got some worker placement, set collection, card drafting. It's got hidden goals, which I really, really like. I like hidden goals a lot. And then like Kyle said, we've got the Skullport expansion, which is 2 expansions in one, and it gives you some added, what do they call it, corruption, I think, in it. So you can do things that are kind of mean to people, but then you have to take corruption, and you have to get rid of the corruption by the end, or they're negative points. So it gives it a little more replayability, because, like Kyle said, this game, we loved it, and then we didn't want to play it anymore because we had played it, and it's the same every time you play it, pretty much. But Skullport definitely adds to it and has revived it, I think.
Yeah.
But that's my number 14, Lords of Waterdeep.
So my number 13 is our most played game by far. So we've played this almost 60 times now.
60? Holy crap.
Yeah. Coup. It's one of those games you don't play once. I don't think I've ever just played it once and just let's play one game of it.
Yeah, I don't
done
think
with
so.
it, and that's it. It's a 5-minute game.
Easy
This is
to
15
teach.
minutes. It's a 5-minute game. Even when teaching. The expansion is great. Reformation.
Yes.
Goes up to 10 players with that. Highly recommend getting that one if you really like Coup. This is a social deduction, bluffing, lying, saying you're the Duke game.
Everyone's the Duke.
Everybody's the Duke. But there's 3 rolls of each kind in the game. Everybody gets 2 rolls hidden. And then when it's your turn, you say, I'm this. You can be that or not be that. And then everybody has a chance to call you a liar. And then you can say, no, you're lying. And you lose cards based on calling people's bluffs. And then eventually you get enough money and you kill somebody. So it's great.
And Scott's always the Duke.
And Scott's always the Duke, and usually is the Duke.
Yes.
He does not lie very often. Scott's really good at this game. For somebody who doesn't lie at games, he lies so well at this game.
It's true.
But Coup it's a great game. It's my favorite filler. It is the absolute first game I always picked to teach new players to game. It's mean, but funny mean. It's a 5-minute. You're not going to get that mad if somebody's killing you.
Yeah.
It is great fun. Just one of those games. The more you play with the same group, the better the game is.
That's true.
If you go out and play this with a new group of players, it's probably not that great because the great part of this game is the social part of it. The ins and outs of knowing your friends and knowing when they're telling the truth and knowing when they're lying. So if your group loves bluffing games, Sheriff of Nottingham, Avalon, Werewolf, those type of games, Coup I think is the best of the group because it's shorter and it does everything correctly and it has a little bit of strategy to it where some of the other games are whatever. This has some strategy to it, not a ton. I mean,
especially with Reformation, that added a little bit more strategy to it.
But Coup is just my favorite filler.
Alright, my number 13 is one of the prettiest games ever, Stone Age. And we also have the stupidest named expansion.
Oh, Style is the Goal.
Style is the Goal.
Yeah, horrible name.
It's pointless. But anyway, it's a good expansion. It definitely adds to the game. The cards are the game. Don't let Todd tell you different, Todd. This game was made in 2008 and it plays 2 to 4 with the expansion. It plays 5. Have we played? We haven't played it 5, have we?
I don't think we have.
I don't know how it plays 5. We've only played it like 6 times now because you played it.
I played it twice recently. So.
Okay, so maybe 7-ish.
Yeah.
Plays in about an hour. You're putting your people out and you're trying to build up your little. It's not a city, is it?
No, you're just building up your civilization.
Yeah, your civilization. Worker placement for sure, and you're trying to get goods to be able to build things. Oh my god, I don't even know what that means. ITYOTD? What the hell is that?
It's in the Year of the Dragon.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, that's the art. That's the guy. Michael Menzel did the art on this, and he also did In the Year of the Dragon, It Happens, Bruges, Pillars of the Earth, and Vikings. I wrote this a while ago. Sorry about that. But yeah, you get a cup and you roll the dice, and they're like really light. Like
they're wooden.
Are they wooden?
Yeah,
Is that what it
wooden
is?
dice,
Okay.
yeah.
So they have a different feel to them, and you roll the dice, and then there's like a multiplier of how many wood you get, or how many gold, or how many food. You have to feed your people. Kyle has to feed his people.
Although you don't have to in this game. There's definitely a strategy.
Didn't Steve say he didn't feed his people at all in this? Is this what it was?
Yeah, he did about halfway. He didn't feed it for about half the game, and he won by like 30. So.
But that's not why he won, is it?
Yeah, that was part of the reason.
For not feeding his people?
Yeah.
Y'all are mean dictators, yo. What the heck? It's pretty simple once you learn it. It's not... I don't know, is there a learning curve in...
This is what I would...
teaching?
One of the games I would teach a new player how to do worker placements.
Yeah.
It's a clean worker placement, not very complicated. You put your people out, and you get stuff for it.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to teach a new gamer one of the main Euro mechanics of worker placement, this would be one of the first ones I would teach them.
And it's really pretty, so,
Yeah.
you know, that could be a whole nother thing. But that's my number 13, Stone Age.
My number 12 is Castles of the Mad King Ludwig. Ludwig. Sorry. Love this game. So same guy who did Suburbia.
Ted Alspach.
And they feel nothing alike. A lot of people were a little hesitant at first when this came out because there's some similarity between this and Suburbia.
I mean,
but
you're building a castle in this. You're building
the city, but they play so differently. Don't ever worry about owning both of them like you're going to overlap. You don't.
Yep.
They play so differently. There's a couple things from Suburbia that you could learn that you'll recognize in this game, but he did a great job of making a new
separate.
game. This is building a castle. It's got one of the best auction mechanics, where when it's my turn, I get to put all the pieces in the price order I want. Everybody else is going to go pay me for those prices. I go last, so I'm trying to judge. Like, I really want this piece, but I don't want anybody else to get it. But I don't want to pay a lot for it. So you're trying to. That's where all the game is. After that, buying the game, putting it down. That's pretty simple.
It is.
The time in this game, it's a 90-minute game. Most of the time is people putting them in that order to try to get the most money from the other players. Very interactive, so you are watching what the other players are building, going, okay, you want dungeons, and you want green. It's got hidden goals. It has...
public goals, too.
Public goals, and it has a ton of variety. Everybody's castle looks totally different. Really like this game. This has been a huge hit with our friends. Plays 1 to 4. I haven't played it 1 because I don't play one-player games, and one of these days I may go through all these games and play one player to see.
Oh, boring.
Yeah.
What the heck?
But really love... I like it more in Suburbia. Tina's kind of... She likes both of them.
I do.
But I really like this one. Great art, actually. One of the few euros that the box jumps out on you and says, good game. Really love Castles of the Mad King.
My number 12 is The Builders. Kyle was really surprised that I liked this game.
Yeah.
It's a really tiny game. Basically, sorry. He has longer arms than me. We played it like 7 times. It came out in 2013 and plays 2 to 4. Plays in about 30 minutes. It's got card drafting, so basically you have these buildings that you want to build out on the table, and then you have cards that are your workers, and each worker has a separate job, so you have to get several different types. One may work with stone, and one may work with tile, or so on and so forth. And you are trying to get to 17 VP, I think it is. And once you build that building, you flip it over, and that gives you a permanent resource of whatever is on that card. So there's like carpentry and architecture, masonry and tile work, I think is what it is. And some of them give you money. I don't know. It's a pretty simple game, but it's
this game it really reminds me of Splendor.
Yes.
It really has a lot. It plays differently, but if you're a big fan of Splendor, I think you'll like this one. It has the same feel to it, where when I buy a card, I get to use that card to make other things easier to get. So,
so kind of an engine building.
Definitely an engine building.
and the art's kind of fun. But yeah, it's a filler game, and it's just really fun.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of depth to it for a little filler.
Yeah.
A tiny box. I hate the tin, though. I hate
tins. Tins don't stack well. Make better boxes, people. That's number 12.
So Castles of the Mad King was a great-looking box, and my number 11 is the worst box ever made.
Boring. This guy looks mad.
Yeah, I think it's the worst box ever made for a board game. My number 11 is Kalis. Classic worker placement Euro. Mean
Yeah,
Euro.
Steve.
So it's got one of those. It's the same type of deal you've seen other worker placements. You're putting stuff on the board. You're getting resources. You're turning resources into points. So the theme, you've seen it before, done it before. The trick about this one is there's a way to manipulate what actions actually happen in the game, because you're going on this road.
Yeah.
And putting your people out there, and then you follow the road and you do all those actions, and at some point you can manipulate what actions happen and don't happen, so people can put workers out there, and then you can go back and say, you know what, work stops here, nothing on this point goes forward, and their workers went to waste. It's a tight economic game. It's probably that and Pillars are probably the two tightest economic games I played, where tight and where you have no money and you're just struggling for money. And to do anything in this game, you've got to have money. So losing resources because you didn't get to do something is a big deal in this game. But really love Kalis. It's a great game. The board looks 1,000 times better than the box does. That art's just, I wish they'd reprint this. I would buy this one again with a better art.
Can we just put a smiley face on him, maybe?
Yeah, he's just so angry.
He's angry because Steve told us it wasn't mean, and then it was.
Yes. Plays 2 to 5, so another one of those 5-player games that we like a lot. Plays up to 150 minutes. It does take a while, but doesn't feel like it because there's a lot of interaction. Putting the people out, you do it in turn order, so you're constantly putting people out, and then they resolve in the snake order. So really like that. Love Kalis.
It's a good game. It's a good game. My number 11 is Rise of Augustus, or I guess they've shortened it now to just Augustus. People are lazy. They can't say Rise of Augustus. I don't know. Anyway, I love this game. It's bingo. It's flipping bingo. That's all it is. But it is the best bingo I've ever played. Like, it is so fun, and it shouldn't be at all. It is super fun. It came out in 2013. It plays 2 to 6. 6 is good. We played it with 6. 19 plays we've logged on this, maybe more now. Plays in about half an hour, so it's a filler game. Easy to teach, and basically you get 3 cards in front of you that you are working to build. You put your people out when the person calls whatever that...
Hey, Caesar.
No.
Oh, the actual thing, yeah.
Yeah,
the token type.
Yeah, like you get a bag and you have all the different
Shields
symbols
and chariots and swords and standards.
The town crier, I think, is what they call
Yeah,
him.
the town crier. Yeah,
he or she. That person pulls out the token and, okay, double swords, and if you have double swords on that card, you put your dude on there, or multiple ones, however. And if you run out of dudes, then you can move them around on those cards. And the first person to have 7, right? 7?
I think 7 triggers the end game.
7 completed triggers the end of the game, but there's things inside that give you even more points. Some of these cards you finish, they give you points towards how many, what do they call them, senators you have, or you can get these extra points for finishing 3 or 5 or 7 or 6 or whatever different types of, different objectives. And then there's the wheat and the gold, and they really need to come out with the expansions because they've got all this iconology on the cards already that are ready for the expansions. So hurry up, make some expansions. It's really, really fun.
Yeah, it's funny, when I heard of this game, I told Tina about it, and she thought it sounded just horrible.
Why would you even want to buy that?
So I think I even bought it without, I don't think she even wanted me to buy it.
I didn't, and he's like, I bought Augustus. I was like, what? I thought we talked about that. And then we played it, and I was like, best move ever. Thanks for that. That was awesome. Yeah, I love, love, love this game. So that's my number 11.
Alright, so thanks for watching this video. We'll be back with our top 10 games of all time.
Yay! Thanks for watching.
I remember trying to talk to you in high school. Couldn't even get a look 'cause you were too cool. But now we're older and we're playing by the new rules.